Hi, welcome to High School Challenge 2014. We've been doing this for 37 years at Tompkins-Cortland Community College, and we're so happy to have you here with us today. The seedings worked out in the preliminary rounds. We ended up with the 1 and 2 seed now meeting in the finals, Delaware Valley and Ithaca. Let's meet the team from Ithaca and their captain, Jensen Lowe.
Hi, I'm Jensen, and I do science.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and I really do not do science.
Hi, I'm Ari, and I do science, but not as well as Jensen.
Hi, I'm Casey. What science?
Ain't that the truth? That's what I always say. Ithaca's coached by Ben Kirk. Now let's meet the team from Delaware Valley, way down in Pennsylvania, and their captain, Josiah Divizia.
Hi, I'm Josiah Divizia, and I plan on majoring in computer science.
Hi, I'm Dan Reno. It seems I'm the only one on my team who can grow facial hair.
Hello, my name is Simon Sheehy, and I skipped 2 grades.
Hello, I'm Drake Eshelman, and I recently qualified for Pennsylvania State Chorus.
Excellent. Team from Delaware Valley is coached by Kevin Divizia. Now, these teams have showed very well so far in competition. Let's see how they do against each other. We start out with nothing but toss-ups in our opening round. Our first one is a 5-pointer. In July and August of 1974, Turkey invaded this Mediterranean island. Result?
Ithaca, Jensen.
Cyprus.
Cyprus is what we're looking for, yes. For 10 points, drugs such as ritonavir and azidothymidine are used to combat this pathogen as part of highly active antiretroviral therapy. The high mutation rates associated with this virus are mostly due to the low fidelity of its reverse transcriptase.
DV, Josiah.
HIV.
HIV is what we're looking for. Well done, both teams on the board early. For 5 points, de facto is a Latin phrase used to define situations which are accepted as fact. De jure is a Latin phrase defining situations determined by what?
DV, Dan.
Law.
By law is correct for 5. Here's a 10-pointer. The Lorentz gamma contains the square of this constant.
Ithaca, Ari.
Beta?
Oh,
No.
no. I'll finish it in the denominator. The current definition of the meter is based on this physical constant. What is this constant? First measured purely on Earth in 1849 when Armand Fizeau used a rotating wheel and a mirror 8 kilometers from the observer.
DV, Josiah.
C.
No, it was the speed of...
That is acceptable.
There's going to be a protest. Go on to the next question.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on. For 10 points, it was a significant chapter in the history of U.S. civil rights, but most historians consider it an abject failure.
Ithaca, Ari.
Reconstruction?
That's what we were looking for, Ari. Well done. For 5 points, it is an opaque blue-green mineral, a hydrous phosphate of copper and aluminum, which was originally brought to Europe from Turkey. Name this semi-precious gemstone widely...
DV, Simon.
Topaz.
I'll finish it. Widely used in southwestern jewelry.
Ithaca, Andrew.
Lapis lazuli.
No, it was brought to Europe from Turkey, and it's turquoise. For 5 points, this visual toss-up, watch your monitor and turn this visual puzzle into a common word or phrase.
DV, Dan.
Objection overruled.
It's the thing they never say in Perry Mason. That's right. For 5 points, this quantity is similar to one named for Helmholtz, but is measured at a constant temperature and pressure. When it is less than 0, a reaction proceeds...
Ithaca, Ari.
Gibbs free energy?
That's what we're looking for, Ari, for 5. For 10 points, its 114,000 square miles make it the 6th largest U.S. state, but only 15% of its land is privately owned, and almost a quarter of it is Native American reservations. Name this southwestern state, which is home...
Ithaca, Andrew.
Arizona.
Arizona is correct, Andrew, for 10. For 5 points, Barbier's theorem states that every curve of constant width has a perimeter this many times its width. 2 times this
Ithaca, Ari.
Pi?
Pi is correct, Ari, and that brings us to the end of round 1. Scott, what's our score?
With a question under protest, it is 35 to 25 in favor of Ithaca.
Okay. We're going to round 2 now. It's the answer auction. Here's the answer auction question, Delaware Valley and Ithaca. Before World War I, 7 European nations had colonies in Africa. How many of them can you name? While they're making up their minds as to their opening bids, I will tell you that the team with the highest bid must then give that number of correct answers without giving an incorrect answer. That'll get them 40 points. If they're unable to do that, the second team must give only one answer not already given to get 20 points. If they can't do that, the original high bidder gets the 20 points. So we'll ask Delaware Valley, what's your opening bid, Josiah?
6.
They bid 6 out of 7. Will you go 7?
Yes.
They'll go 7, so you can't go any higher. Ithaca, give me all 7, please.
Portugal.
Portugal,
Yes?
France,
Yes?
Spain or France.
Spain,
Yes?
Belgium,
Yes?
Germany,
Yes?
Italy,
Yes?
Britain.
Britain.
That is correct, all 7 for 40 points. Well done. That was a good bid, Delaware Valley, and they went one higher. And that brings us to the end of the second round. Scott, what's our score in this well-played game?
75 to 25 in favor of Ithaca.
All right. We'll see what happens in our next round, where teams get a chance to answer a 20-point bonus if one of their members answers a 10-point toss-up. That's coming up on High School Challenge 2014.
Mihirbizad edengo aronike DNA ke dendole.
Preserve your language, preserve your culture, preserve yourself.
Every child deserves the hope and healing of a Children's Miracle Network hospital. 170 hospitals helping 17 million kids each year. Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Hospitals helping local kids. For information on how to help, visit cmnhospitals.org.
I was born and raised here, and I plan on staying here, having a family here. I am very proud of what I and my coworkers do for a living. With tighter budgets, I work even harder. When I see a family that I've worked with doing well in the workforce, it gives me immense satisfaction and gratification. I want the community to be a strong one. I want it to be something that we can all be proud of.
The score is Ithaca 75 and Delaware Valley 25. Let's move right on into the toss-up bonus round. If you answer a toss-up correctly in this round, you get 10 points and your team gets a chance at a 20-point bonus. The first bonus is in the category Oh Sugar Sugar. And here's the toss-up for 10 points. The no-hair theorem states that these entities can be
Ithaca Jensen.
Black holes.
Black holes, what
Right.
we're looking for. Here's your Oh Sugar Sugar bonus. In humans, it is stored in the liver as glycogen. What is this monosaccharide with the chemical formula C6H12O6, which diabetics lack the functional insulin to metabolize?
Glucose.
That's correct. Humans cannot digest this polymer of glucose because it forms a strong microfibril matrix found in plant cell walls.
Cellulose. Cellulose.
Cellulose is correct. Didn't let me finish the question, but thank
sorry.
you. Individuals with lactose intolerance cannot break these glycosidic bonds, which also form between the first and fourth carbon monomers in cellulose.
Alpha bonds.
I'm sorry, no beta glycosidic bonds. And finally, in the glycolysis process, glucose is converted into 2 molecules of this compound, which can be used to produce alcohol through fermentation.
Pyruvic acid.
Yes, or pyruvate.
15 points for us.
Famous author, the category of the next bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10 points. It's known popularly as Obamacare, but the act...
Ithaca, all right.
Affordable Care Act.
I'm sorry, no, I'll finish it. The act passed by Congress and signed by President Obama has a 6-word name, which is what? At the buzzer or not? No. The answer is Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Still playing for that famous author bonus, this 10-pointer. Since the 1980s, Alice Munro has published a collection of short stories at least once every 4 years. Her prolific and acclaimed output in the genre earned her the 2013 Nobel Prize, making her the first person from which country to win that honor?
Ithaca, Andrew.
Canada.
Canada is correct, Andrew. Here's your famous author bonus. I'm going to give you 4 clues to the identity of a famous author. You'll get 20 points if you can name the author after the first clue, 15 after the second, 10 after the third, and 5 after the fourth. Any incorrect answer will not disqualify you from going on. Okay, for 20 points, her birth name was Amantine Lucille Dupin, but she wrote all of her works under a male pseudonym. Captain?
Elliot.
I'm sorry, no. She flaunted the rules of society at the time, wearing men's clothing and smoking tobacco in public.
Frieden.
Sorry, no. Her novels, among them Indiana, La Petite Fadette, and Consuelo, were reasonably popular at the time, but none is considered first-rate by critics.
French woman. Sand.
George Sand is correct.
Yes.
For 10 points. There are too many.
Next bonus is in the category Australia. For 10 points, it is the most sparsely populated country in Europe, and its capital city is Europe's northernmost. Name this island nation, a republic.
Ithaca, Andrew.
Iceland.
Iceland is correct for 10. Here's your Australia bonus, Ithaca. What post does Tony Abbott currently hold? I'm laughing because I have it written here, Tiny Abbott.
Prime Minister.
He is Prime Minister, yes. The first crown colony established in Australia on the shores of Botany Bay became which Australian state whose capital is Sydney?
New South Wales.
New South Wales.
New South Wales is correct. Australia has 6 states and 2 territories. The Australian Capital Territory, which is similar to the U.S.'s District of Columbia, and which other whose capital is Darwin?
Northern Australia.
Northern Australia.
I'm sorry, I can't accept that. Northern Territory. And finally, located on the Indian Ocean at the mouth of the Swan River, its suburb, Fremantle, was the site of the 1987 America's Cup races. Name this capital of Western Australia.
Perth.
Perth.
Yeah.
Perth.
Perth is correct.
15 points for Ithaca.
The Wilson administration, the category of the last bonus. Here's the toss-up. In pro football, this word is used for a defensive scoring play and 2 players on defense, one labeled strong and the other
E.V. Josiah.
Safety.
safety is the correct answer. Here's your Wilson administration bonus, Delaware Valley. Woodrow Wilson, before being elected president in 1912, had been governor of which state for 2 years?
New Jersey.
New Jersey's correct. Which of these was not passed during Wilson's administration? The Federal Reserve Act, the Federal Trade Act, the Social Security Act, or federal income tax?
Oh, the Social Security Act.
That's correct. What was the ironic 6-word slogan the Wilson campaign used in running for his second term in 1916?
He kept us out of the war.
Yes, because the World War I was entered by the U.S. in 1917. And finally, what world organization did Wilson champion but find the U.S. Congress unwilling to join?
League of Nations.
That's correct.
All 20 for Delaware Valley.
Well done, Delaware Valley, and that brings us to the end of round 3. What's our score, please, Scott?
The unofficial score at the moment is Ithaca 145, Delaware Valley 55.
All right, we'll deal with that during the break. When we come back, Delaware Valley will have first choice of these 4 categories. And we'll see what they are in a moment. They are saints, Bible authors, popes and cardinals, and not exactly Catholic. We'll be back in a moment to see which categories they choose and how well they do with them on TC3's High School Challenge 2014.
The first step towards solving any problem is admitting there is a problem. We can recover. Cocaine Anonymous. We're here, and we're free.
I love my job just because it's such an awesome way to give back to the community. You know, I know that the work that I'm doing is making a difference every single day. My coworkers share the same passion. People provide awesome customer service. We try to emphasize teamwork. We know time is precious. Whether it's on the phone, whether it's through an email, knowing that I can help out and knowing that I do every day makes me feel great. The work that I do is shaping the community in a really positive way, and I'm really proud of that.
I don't know. Be careful about this guy.
We have an official score right now. What is it, please?
The score has been changed due to the protest. Ithaca 155, Delaware Valley 50 after 3 rounds.
Okay, that means Delaware Valley, you have first choice of those 4 categories, which were saints, Bible authors, popes, and cardinals, and not exactly Catholic. What are you choosing, Delaware Valley?
Bible authors.
Bible authors it is. Are you ready?
Yep.
Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. Which New Testament author was a physician?
Mark.
No. To which book of the Bible was King David a contributor?
Psalms.
Yes. Who wrote 1st and 2nd Timothy?
Paul.
Yes. Which king of Israel's name appears as part of the title of the Bible book he wrote?
Solomon.
Yes. Which New Testament author was a son of Joseph and Mary?
James.
Yes. Name the author of the book of Lamentations.
Jeremiah.
Who wrote the book of Revelations?
John.
Yes. Which author was responsible for more books of the New Testament than any other?
Paul.
Who wrote the book of Acts?
Luke.
Name any of the minor prophets who authored Old Testament books.
Amos.
Yes.
Very quick, 90 points for Delaware.
All right, Ithaca, a chance to steal 10 if you can tell me which New Testament author was a physician.
Luke.
St. Luke is correct, yes.
Did they get that?
Yes, they did.
So we're going not exactly Catholics.
So your chance, Ithaca, to choose from saints, popes, and cardinals were not exactly Catholic.
Not exactly Catholic.
Not exactly Catholic. Okay, understand that all the answers will sound like things associated with the Catholic Church. Are you ready? Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. Which football team went from Chicago to St. Louis to Phoenix?
Saints.
No. How many U.S. Secretaries of Defense have become U.S. President?
3.
No. What is defined as a body's resistance to inertia?
Mass.
Yes. Who discovered oxygen in 1774?
Boyle.
No. Who was the greatest English poet and satirist of the early 18th century?
Pope.
Yes. Who won the 1956 Poetry Pulitzer for North and South of Cold Spring?
Pass.
What's a young chicken suitable for sautéing?
Pass.
Who was Costello's partner in comedy?
Abbott.
Yes. Which NFL team plays home games in the Superdome?
Saints.
Yes. Eagles, hawks, and falcons are classified as birds of what?
Prey.
Prey is correct.
50 points for
Chance to steal 50, Delaware Valley, if you can answer these right away. Which football team went from Chicago to St. Louis to Phoenix?
Cardinals.
Cardinals is right. How many U.S. Secretaries of Defense have become U.S. President?
7.
None.
Oh my gosh.
Who discovered oxygen in 1774?
Priestley.
Priestley is correct. Who won the 1956 Poetry Pulitzer for North and South of Cold Spring? It was Elizabeth Bishop. And finally, what's a young chicken suitable for sautéing? It's a fryer.
Oh my God.
22nd chance points for DVD.
All right, that brings us to the end of round 4. What's our score, please, Scott?
It's considerably tightened. Ithaca 215, Delaware Valley 160.
Okay, very close going into our final round where we have nothing but toss-ups. They're tougher ones, therefore they're worth more points. We'll be back to see who wins that $3,000 top prize on Tompkins Cortland Community College's High School Challenge 2014.
If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. Trained counsellors are there to listen without judgment.
Hi, I'm Kevin Sorbo asking you to invest in the future. A World Fit for Kids is the best way I know to spread health, fitness, and education to our children.
Join our team. Log on now to worldfitforkids.org.
Help make this world
A world without obesity. A world where kids are ready to learn. A world where kids are healthy.
This is my world.
I'm a police, fire, and EMS dispatcher. Every call that comes in could be potentially life-threatening. I've had taken phone calls before where people have been in fires in their house and, explain to them how to get out and what to do. You just got to be calm. You got to put yourself in their shoes and try to, calm them down so you can get the accurate information. When their first phone call comes to us, we get the fire, the police, and the ambulance to their location. I'm keeping them safe by providing them with a service that they expect.
Welcome back. What's our official score, Scott, after 4 rounds of play?
After 4 rounds, Ithaca 215, Delaware Valley 160.
Okay, very well played, both teams. There's a lot of points in this final round. Let us see what happens. We start with a 15-point toss-up. Hands on buzzers. Here we go. It was part of French Louisiana, so its state flag is based on the flag of France. Originally having a strictly agricultural economy, it transitioned during the second half of the 20th century to a diversified one. Name this state, the only one in the U.S. whose east-west borders are entirely formed by rivers, the Mississippi to the east and the Missouri.
Delaware Valley Gray.
Alabama?
I'm sorry, no. The Mississippi to the east and the Missouri and Big Sioux on the west.
Ithaca, Andrew.
Missouri?
No, it is Iowa. For 15 points, in 1993, the Mystery Writers of America named him a Grand Master. Specializing in comic capers, he nevertheless won Edgar Awards in 3 different categories. Name this man who wrote 14 comic novels featuring the John Dortmunder gang.
Smith?
Not Smith. Can you take it?
Simon.
Allen.
It was Donald E. Westlake, and if you haven't read him, you should. For 10 points, primarily a mixture of water, salt, and flour, it was originally marketed as a wallpaper cleaner. What is this modeling?
Ithaca, Jensen.
Play-Doh is what we're looking for, Jensen. For 10 points, this audio toss-up. I want you to listen to this tune from the 1960s and name the classic automobile that's part of the song's story. I'm sorry, no. Listen more.
VW Beetle?
No. You listen, you might have known. It was the Ford Thunderbird. It was, we'll have fun, fun, fun till her daddy takes the T-Bird away. For 10 points, when the Revolutionary War broke out in 1775, he was a shipping merchant. Joining the Continental Army at the outset, he distinguished himself as a brave and capable officer, reaching the rank of Major General the next year. After being passed over for further promotion, he was caught selling plans of West Point.
Benedict Arnold.
Benedict Arnold is correct for 10. Pencil and paper ready. Here's a toss-up worth 15 points. If theta is an angle in the first quadrant and sine of theta is 2/5, find cosine of theta. You have 15 seconds.
Square root of 21 over 5.
That's correct, Ari, for 15 points. For 10 points, it has the world's 10th largest population, despite having a land mass of only about 140. I'll finish it. Despite having a land mass of only about 146,000 square miles, smaller than the state of Montana. Name this Asian nation which is home to the world's most populous metropolitan area.
Japan.
Japan is correct for 10. For 15 points, in a golf tournament featuring match play, a player wins the match 3 and 2. What do those numbers signify?
Ithaca, Ari.
Wins and losses.
Sorry, no. Can you take it, Delaware Valley?
The amount of strokes.
No. In match play, it's 3 holes up, 2 holes to play. So you can't win if you're 3 holes down and 2 holes to play. For 15 points, her photo appears on the 5,000 peso Chilean banknote. Born Lucila Godoy Alcagaya, she took a pseudonym for her writing from the names of 2 of her favorite poets. Name this poet, educator, and feminist who's the only Latin American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature.
D.V. Simon.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it? Ithaca.
Ithaca, Ari.
Isabel Allende.
It is Gabriela Mistral. For 15 points, in plants, the formation of a dense microtubule ring occurs directly before this process. Plant cells.
Ithaca, Jensen.
Cytokinesis.
I'm sorry, I'll finish it. Plant cells sometimes also need a phragmosome to split large vacuoles during it, and this stage sees the use of gametubulin to drive the centrosomes apart. What is this stage of mitosis in which the chromatin material condenses into chromosomes?
DV Josiah.
Prophase.
Prophase is correct for 15. Here's a 10-pointer. In the British situation comedy The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, one of the characters says that his wife does not see eye to eye with our piscine friends. By this he means she prefers to avoid what kind of food?
Ithaca Andrew.
Fish.
Fish is correct. For 15 points, the first Boer War was fought from 1880 to 1881, the second from 1899 to 1902. In both cases, the British Empire was on one side and two South African provinces on the other. Name either of Britain's...
Ithaca Andrew.
The Orange Free State.
Orange Free State is one, that's all we needed. Transvaal was the other. For 10 points, the word Boer simply means farmer in which two related languages?
DV Dan.
Dutch and German?
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Ithaca?
Ithaca Casey.
Dutch and Afrikaans.
Dutch and Afrikaans is correct. For 10 points, it was painted over with a dark varnish that made the scene appear to...
Ithaca Casey.
The Night Watch.
The Night Watch is what we're looking for. For 15 points, an extremely unstable allotrope known as the red type of this element contains...
Ithaca Ari.
Oxygen.
Oxygen is correct for 15. And that brings us to the end of the match. Scots, what is our final score, please?
Ithaca wins their 12th Hewitt Trophy with a 310 to 185 win over Delaware Valley.
Okay, very well played, both teams. We'll be back to validate that score and say goodbye to our friends on TC3's High School Challenge 2014.
I was born and raised here, and I plan on staying here, having a family here. I am very proud of what I and my coworkers do for a living. With tighter budgets, I work even harder. When I see a family that I've worked with doing well in the workforce, it gives me immense satisfaction and gratification. I want the community to be a strong one. I want it to be something that we can all be proud of.
Welcome to the Solar Generation Road Trip. If you want to know how solar energy is working for America, you have to go out and ask America. We're talking to people from coast to coast who are using solar power every day. From a few panels on a homeowner's roof to large solar plants with enough utility power for a whole town. Solar energy is working for America now, saving us money, creating new jobs, and giving our world a brighter future. Go solar! Welcome to the Solar Generation.
Welcome back. Scott, is our score official?
It is for a record 12th time. Ithaca wins High School Challenge with a 310 to 185 victory over DV.
Very well played by both teams. We'd like to thank them both for coming here and competing. Ithaca, of course, had the shortest trip of anybody, and Delaware Valley had one of the longest. Here to give the check for $3,000 from CSEA to Ithaca is the head of the television broadcasting program, Chris Xaver.
Hey, and I'm very excited to present this on behalf of CSEA. They've been a wonderful sponsor for us. And I also would like to do a little shout out to the communication students behind the scenes because they've been working very, very hard. You guys rock.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't be prouder of these guys. This was a fantastic game. All the teams that we competed against were great teams, but we couldn't be happier with the outcome.
Fantastic. And Brooks, you did an amazing job as always.
As always, what can I say? Seriously, we're very happy to have finished this year with some good matches. We'd like to thank, as I said, as Chris said, we'd like to thank the students in Tompkins Cortland Community College's broadcasting program because they have done a terrific job with very, very short rehearsal time. They've done a great job. And we'd like to thank Tina Sanders and Scott Blish, who've been behind the scenes on all this stuff. And we'll be looking forward to next year when we'll do High School Challenge 2015, if we're not all dead. That'll be good. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on TC3's High School Challenge. Bye-bye.